Finally, Good Morning Pop Culture has come back to YouTube. So, folks, I've been away for a couple of days, but you know what? The world of entertainment didn't stop, and that's a good thing because we got tons and tons of really interesting and weird news to talk about. We're going to be talking about Halloween. We're going to be talking about Netflix's cancellations of 2 MCU shows. Amy Schumer's pregnant. Ugh, all kinds of shit to be talked about this morning on Good Morning Pop Culture. So I'm excited to be back. All we got to do is hit our magical number of 200 viewers. And once we're there, well, damn it, it's time to start the show. So good morning to everyone who's already here. Let's get those numbers up and let's say good morning to hundreds and hundreds more. Over the weekend, you saw us live stream a couple of times, actually. So that was a lot of fun. You got to see all the bullshitters, and you finally got to see our Stealing Solo campaign be a massive, massive success, which was really, really exciting. So I'm just working on the pages now as we speak, you know, putting in the footwork, doing all kinds of things to make sure that you guys get the best comic possible. Speaking of comics and Comicsgate stuff, I just got my sketchbook from Comicsgate that I bought in support of the other creators. The Black and Red sketchbook from, what's his name? I've talked to him before. Elliot Fernandez. So I got that. I got my little Batman vinyl sticker and my Batman print. So I went out of my way to support Elliot because he's a great artist and a good dude. And I hope you guys had a chance to check out his Indiegogo campaign as well. And it was exciting to get a comic book in the mail that, you know, I actually wanted to read through. Now, to be fair, his is an art book, a sketchbook, if you will. And it's a very, very good sketchbook. So I'm proud to have backed it. And I hope that a lot of you out there did too. And for those out there who backed Stealing Solo, it'll be out soon enough. Can't rush it, but I will make the day I told you. And everyone gets a copy of Anthology. No longer an ash can edition, now a full-size comic book. It'll be the same coloring and lettering that exists already, but you guys will get an extra comic book, a full-sized extra comic book with Anthology #1. And now let's hope a ton of people enjoy Anthology #1 because if I'll test the temperature out and see what people think of it. Remember, it's old. But if it has enough of a positive response, well, then I can move forward with Anthology #2. And over the weekend, we came up with another concept for an awesome comic book. Nick had a joke. He's like, I don't want to tell you guys. Never mind. Just be on the lookout. We'll tell you on this week's World Class Bullshitters podcast because it's a really good concept that a lot of YouTubers could be involved with. A lot of you could be involved with. It could be called YouTube, the comic book, essentially. But it's a fantastic concept. I want to give a shout out to our boy Nick to, for helping us out with that idea. So let's see. Wow, we got to keep waiting for people to roll, and it's Tuesday. I guess they expect, well, today's the new Monday, if you will, for me. The other guys were still in town last night, so, life. But as I said, it was a lot of fun. If you guys could be a fly on the wall when the World Class Bullshitters are finally in the same room together, well, you'd be damn impressed for all the stuff we talk about. And I wanted to save this for a little later when we have more viewers, and I'll bring it up again. But I want to put this out there right now. I have found a film that is worse than The Last Jedi, and I mean it. It's not a joke. It's not a plug. It's not anticipation for this Thursday night show. The only twist is I can't tell you what it is until this Thursday night show. So the Bullshitters and I, we watched a film. It was so offensively terrible. It honestly pissed us off. So, and it's not the Hurricane Heist, because I watched that over the weekend as well, and that was dumb but okay. This movie, which I will not tell you the title of, was really, really terrible. It pissed off Dion, it pissed off Nick, it pissed off Kendo, it pissed off me. And like I said a moment ago, it was worse than The Last Jedi. So be prepared to hear us rip apart this film that is worse than The Last Jedi. And I will bring it up tonight on the High Council, which will be here on World Class Bullshitters. I will bring all of those things to your attention. This movie sucked so much, and just be prepared to learn about it with us. So thank you to everyone who's here. Well, no Star Wars, hence the slow title. Well, there's really no Star Wars news. There is Star Wars news, but it goes to a special video. None of the Star Wars news is just going to be put on this channel. No. We got to go for regular reviews, or regular videos like I used to do, like the one I put out on Saturday. If you guys haven't had a chance to check that out, well, you're missing out. The Star Wars Hasbro toy, where I spoke to a Hasbro insider twice, and they gave me many pieces of information, which I've relayed in the video with their approval. And now tomorrow I have another video to make talking about the finances of Star Wars and the Hasbro and stuff like that. So it looks like your boy Jeff was right all along. So to all the naysayers out there, I'm so sorry that your beloved Star Wars isn't doing what you think it is. And I'm sorry that I have my finger on the pulse of the way the toys are moving. But that's cool. I just have the third quarter financials from Hasbro themselves to back my opinion, or not my stance up. Sorry, I'm not going by, oh, I'm so excited because I feel like I'm a kid again. No, they're going down. The Pui says, morning, Jeff. I found you. Ha. Well, hello, Pui. Ha. And good morning to you, my friend. Let's see. It's not a trick. It's a film worse than The Last Jedi. I even said during the viewing, I said, guys, I would rather watch The Last Jedi than this. And they all looked at me and went, yeah. And it wasn't just like boring. It wasn't a boring movie. It was offensively bad. It was the most... I can't get into that right now. I need the other guys here to back me up on this. I need the other guys here to back me up on this. So for those out there asking about the new Halloween movie, go watch the review. I put out a 6-minute review that basically laid out my thoughts a little cleaner than I would here. But I was, like I said, disappointment is too strong of a word. It was better than a lot of the Halloween sequels, and I'm not going to say that it's better than Halloween 3 because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. No, I like Halloween 3. I actually just picked up the new Blu-ray from Scream Factory. So Halloween 3 is not that bad of a film. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. But at least it's original and something different. This new Halloween, much like the new Star Wars, is too derivative of what came before it. It relies so heavily on the nostalgia. It relies so heavily on you knowing and loving the first film in the series. That isn't really why I disliked the movie either, because at least Halloween did it right. They did callbacks. The entire plot wasn't predicated on A New Hope like The Force Awakens was. I just felt that Michael Myers was wasted. The suspense, the horror, the shock, all of that stuff was wasted in this movie. Like I said, and this isn't even a spoiler, you see Michael Myers walk down the street, like just walking around, and the camera follows him. And people would argue, well, you saw him walking in the first movie. No, that's not what I'm talking about. You saw him pop up from behind a car. You saw him appear in the background. You saw this, you saw that. You watch Michael Myers go from point A to point B, and I'm not talking about the continuous shot that's in the trailer. There's a twist that is the dumbest twist in movie history. Well, Halloween movie history. Like I said in the review, it's sorely lacking Donald Pleasence's presence. You really need that guy. I think a lot of people nowadays want to think it's about Jamie Lee Curtis and Michael Myers, but realistically it was about Loomis and Michael Myers. And Jamie Lee Curtis was, the tertiary character. Well, I won't call her tertiary character. She was the third build in terms of importance, because it is Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis. It's an eternal struggle. It's like I said, Van Helsing and Dracula, Luke and or Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. They know what they are. The other is. They know the evil that they are and how they must be stopped. And that drama is lacking from this movie as well as Halloween's H2O on. And yes, the Rob Zombie ones do include a Sam Loomis, but it's not the Sam Loomis. Malcolm McDowell is a fine actor, but he just doesn't have what Donald Pleasence did have. So that alone leaves a big hole in this film. And so like I said in the review, go see the movie. I'm not telling you to skip it, but I'm telling you that all these people that say it's the best since the original and all this stuff may be misguided. I think the best since the original was the second Halloween, because you had Deborah Hill involved, you had John Carpenter more involved, you had that atmosphere, that sense, that mystery. The mystery of Michael Myers is no more, and that's sad, because so much of what works with Michael Myers is anywhere, anytime type of thing. They've made him one step closer to Jason Voorhees in this movie, and two steps back from what Michael Myers used to be. And I guess they wanted to go for the horror audience. And let me phrase it like this before we start. The horror audience, much like the Star Wars audience, the fan, I'll put it like this, the fan film audience, they're the type of people that want certain elements of the film. So in Halloween, they want, the slow walk, the head tilt, this, that, and the other, and the kills and the music. But they miss out on the intangible things that make the movies work, that makes the first Halloween work above any other horror movie for me. So they miss those things, and they give you like Halloween light. It looks like Halloween, they can get the font and they can get some of the actors and stuff like that, but they really missed the spirit of the movie. And very rarely does a remake or a requel or whatever the hell you want to call it, very rarely do these movies capture the essence of, the original or, follow the lineage. Like It was perfect. The original It was great. I liked it. This 2017 It was much better. It got the essence of the story. I think Halloween modernized itself. Maybe it's a reflection of modern society sucking, but it just doesn't have it anymore. So, like I said, you guys should check it out for yourself. I have no qualms with suggesting people go watch it. It's not a bad movie. I was enjoying myself for a good chunk of it, but the ending was terrible. And then as I left the theater, I'm thinking to myself, I didn't really like that. Did I? Like, there are even times in the movie too, I'm trying to convince myself, this is what you're waiting for. This is it. This is what you wanted. And there were certain shots and certain moments that gave me what I wanted. But overall, like I said, disappointment's too strong of a word, but I guess displeased. I don't know. And also, they can't make a sequel to this shit. So they can tell you all day long, oh, there's a sequel, there's a sequel. What sequel? Because if there's a sequel, it's going to be of Rob Zombie 2 level proportions. People are surprised. People aren't surprised that I disliked it. Some people hated the ending. It's cool that we can all get together and have these discussions. It's all about coming together in the name of entertainment. And sometimes it really works well. Sometimes it doesn't. I can tell some people were pissed off that I didn't love this movie as much as they did. Hence, they left the channel. And that's fine. That is the double-edged sword of YouTube. It doesn't bother me that people disagree with my take on stuff. That's fine. Let's see. Cinevarath 653. Thank you very much. No one knows how to do true suspense / horror anymore. That may be true. I think the slasher genre is dead, though. I think a lot of good suspense and horror comes from some of the supernatural stuff. I really loved the first James Wan directed it. What was it called? Not The Conjuring. That was okay. Oh God, Insidious. I really liked the first Insidious. Oh, maybe James Wan didn't direct it. I loved the first Insidious. I thought Sinister was great. There were moments of absolute, shock and surprise in those movies. And Halloween, just everything was telegraphed. If you knew Halloween somewhat, you knew what was coming. And that's okay for some people, but not for me. So a lot of people can't do suspense, but that's what suspense is. The most important part of that franchise, not the blood, not the tits, not the gore. I will give this movie credit, though. It was a lot more brutal than previous non-Rob Zombie Halloweens, and Michael Myers killed a kid, which never had happened before, to the best of my knowledge. He killed Jamie in number 6, but she was an adult by then. So Michael Myers killing that little boy in the truck, that was a surprise to me. I thought that kid was just gonna, walk back to the truck, and Michael Myers was gonna drive away. But I think the reason why he killed him was because he shot the doctor. And then that's the filmmaker's way of saying, well, he's not innocent. He died. So it's not like he's being, singled out for whatever. So, like I said, the kills were okay. Some of them were cool. Like when he stabbed that lady in the throat. Awesome. Or when he stabbed the guy to a wall. Awesome. But, I hope you guys understand how I'm feeling. I've tried to lay it out the best way possible. the clearest, most concise way. Like I said, disappointment is too strong of a word, but it definitely has made me change my hype for other returns to franchises. So, Star Wars just didn't do it for me. This just didn't do it for me. Maybe digging up the past works when you have the right people involved, but Halloween had some of the right people. The music was on point. Jamie Lee Curtis was on point. Her daughter, Judy Greer's character, and the granddaughter, terrible. Oh my God, could not stand them. The Doctor did not return from the original because he died in 1996, 95. So Dr. Loomis has a replacement character, and he is garbage. He is garbage, 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 and I will not ruin the twist for anybody, but it was one of the most offensive, and not in a movie that I was telling you about way, but it was just terrible. So now we finally have 200 people here. Let's start talking about this week's topics. So first off, we've been talking about Halloween. So let's look at the box office real quick for Halloween, because I know I'm in the minority here. I'm not, everyone doesn't agree with me, but let's look at Halloween. Now, Halloween is the #1 movie in America. Not a surprise. Everybody and their aunt seems to be going out to see this movie. And it's a win for horror, kind of. So here we go. This is the box office this week. We had Halloween debut at #1 with $76 million. Then A Star is Born stayed at #2. Venom dropped to #3. Surprising. Also, Venom left 363 theaters, but A Star is Born gained 176, so maybe that's why it beat it. And then Goosebumps 2, First Man, The Hate You Give, Smallfoot, Night School, Bad Times at the El Royale, and The Old Man and the Gun. I want to see Bad Times at the El Royale. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's doing too well, but whatever. It looks fun, and it'll probably make a killing on Blu-ray and DVD, much like a Big Lebowski situation. It's a cool movie that takes a little while to gain its traction, but, and then at the end of the day, we'll all enjoy it. So Halloween was a hit, and I've talked to a lot of people on these Facebook groups that were very satisfied. But I also have noticed that there was this mob mentality for those who weren't that satisfied with the film. Oh, you didn't like it? Would you like Rob Zombie more? Like, they keep jumping to conclusions just because people weren't, running out in the streets to praise it.